This is going to be a video all about my eyebrows. I get a lot of questions in my real life and sometimes on social media about how I fill in my eyebrows. People ask me questions all the time, so I thought I'd film a video about it. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So for my brows, I use 3 different products. It's just the technique that I have found that I like, how my brows turn out when I do it. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First things first, I'm not gonna say I'm the realist. I'm going to adjust. So I've got my mirror right here. I like to be close to my mirror when I do my brows so I can see, because I'm very particular with how my eyebrows look. So I lean into the mirror and I think it'll be easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. Anyway, so first thing is I brush my brows up, all going the same direction for the most part, so I can see this line underneath here very clearly. And then I used to do one brow at a time. I don't do it that way anymore. And right now I'm using the Goof Proof pencil from Benefit. Not my favorite, but I'm trying to use it up because I do like it, but it's just not my favorite. I definitely prefer a very skinny pencil to this, but it's nice. Anyway, not what this is about. So I got both my brows brushed up like this. And then I will look into my mirror. I kind of cock my head to the side, tilt back a little bit, so I'm not doing this, so I don't draw on surprised eyebrows. So I just kind of cock my head back a little bit so I can see this line without having to raise my eyebrows. And then you don't want to try and draw a straight line. That's how you end up with very blocky brows, in my opinion. Just going, it's too much pigment too quickly. So I kind of draw a Spock eyebrow in my eyebrow. And then I go back. It's insane looking at the moment, but then I'll go to my other one and do the same thing. Again, not drawing just a straight line, but following that line and kind of feathering till I have Spock eyebrows. And then once I've done that and made myself look insane, I go back with the spoolie and brush them all kind of back how they naturally fall. I am putting some pressure on the spoolie when I'm up here to move that product around so it's not harsh. So that's kind of where I'm at. And now that I've got them brushed back down into place, I'm going to work on the tail of my eyebrow. So what I do, this is kind of hard to do so you can see it, but I kind of turn my head to the side, look at an angle so I can very clearly see this part of my eyebrow. And then I just kind of go put the tail where I want it to be. And then I just kind of feather this area in. I'm not super worried about straight lines because I do go in and I clean up underneath my eyebrow. So I do very soft feathered strokes to get the kind of the desired arch and effect of my eyebrow. Now for most people, probably just fill in out here a little bit more, call it a day. Not me. Then I go on the top of my brow and I should be looking in the mirror, not in the viewfinder, and I pull like straight out. Yeah, don't judge me. I like a very sculpted, feathered brow. Those are the two exact opposites, but anyway. And then I just kind of curve it down. Oh, excuse me, like that. And then I just pull across the top of my brow. Like that. And then I'll go back with the spoolie. Stop looking in my viewfinder. And then make sure that line is straight. And then I go in with a flat brush that has nothing on it. Well, it's not nothing, but it's slightly clean. And I just kind of go like this, because I went a little bit higher than I wanted to. And I use it kind of like an eraser. And then I just go back a little bit just to soften that line back up. Like that. So now that I have the pencil part done, I go in with a brow pen. I like one that has a brush tip, like this one from NYX. MAC makes one. Anastasia makes one that's a brush tip as well. I know a lot of, I think Milani does too. I haven't been able to find the Milani one. I do want to try it, but I've been using this NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. I've been using the shade Taupe. Yeah, Taupe. But it doesn't matter. I do the same thing no matter what pen it is. So, brow tint pen. So, I'm holding it way back here because I'm going to get the least amount of pressure and I'm going to actually have more control over the pen. It's kind of the same idea with a makeup brush. They always say hold back further rather than closer because you actually have more control holding it further back. It's true. It really is. So I hold this pretty far back. And I start at the front of my eyebrow. And I'm applying barely any pressure to where the pen is just barely grazing my skin. And I'm just feathering upwards through the front of my brow. Just like that. And then I'll go over to this side, do the same thing. For this being a taupe, I actually kind of find it a bit red. So if you're wanting to try this, just be aware of that. So then once I've got the front of my eyebrows, you would think I'd be done. I'm not. I take this pen, and because I really don't have a ton of eyebrow out here where I've completely drawn it on, I go, and you can see I've moved it up on my pen, so I'm applying more pressure now. So I just kind of go in the direction that my hairs are growing. I'm not trying to make this look uniform or anything like that. I just want to make it look like there are hairs out here where there aren't. So I'll even kind of go outside the line a little bit like I did here to make that look like a hair. To make this part of my eyebrow look more believable. So then to clean up under my brows, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 1. You can use any eyeshadow primer. If you prefer to, you can use concealer. It doesn't matter. This just has pigment to it, so let me amend that. You can use any eyeshadow primer that has pigment to it that matches your skin tone. This is why most people use concealer to do this, but that's just an extra step that I don't have time for. So I'm just going back in with that flat brush. And I'm going to relax my eyebrow. That's the trick to doing eyebrows, is not to do them like this, but just let your brow relax. So I tilt my head back again. And I'm just... I think a lot of the time people think they need to be able to draw a straight line. I'm here to tell you that you don't. Because that's how mistakes are made. And if you do your brows after you've got your whole face on, like I do, you have to start over. Or you feel like you have to start over or wipe something off. So I'm just taking the tip of my brush and just kind of blending. And just doing that. So then I'm not going to add any more product to my brush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it like this. And I'm going to actually feather that base. I don't know if you can really tell what this is doing. I'm just going to feather that base into that line that we initially created to break it up, so my brow doesn't look so boxy at the front. And then I'm going to take this like this instead of like this and do the same thing. And that just kind of blends and softens that line. So I kind of also will take it kind of at this point in my brow and just feather back. And then I tap that out with my finger just to blend it in even more. So let me get close so you can see. So you can see how soft this looks up front versus this looks harsher. I don't do the top. I don't have time for that. I make time to do the bottom. Then as the final step in my brows, I use a brow gel. This is the ColourPop one. I believe they've repackaged these. It's not my favorite, but I'm using it up because it's not bad. It just has fibers in it, which I'm not wild about. But anyway, what I do is I kind of start at the midway point of my brow and I brush up because I don't want crunchiness up here. So I start further back. Sorry, my dogs are gross. And then I'll go back up here as well. And I got the shade Blonde in this, but it almost seems like it's green, which is another reason I don't really like it, but whatever. Again, starting in the back part of, or back half of the brow. The hold's not super great on this either, but I mean, it does the job of what I want it to do. It gives some more dimension to the brow by adding kind of highlights. Yeah. And that is how I fill in my eyebrows. And here, I'm going to sign off and say if you guys want me to do any more in-depth videos on like how I contour or how I apply my foundation, please let me know in the comments or like this video and I will do something else. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.